All right, fellas, we are going to go ahead and take down the Memorable Battles Movie Edition versus Super Saiyan Goku. And then just for S's and G's, we're going to go ahead and take down the legendary Super Saiyan Broly as well. Because, hey, guess what? Newsflash. These fights are not really all that tough. They just aren't. I wish they were, but they are not. I do think it is okay to have easier events, for sure. So the whole goal of these big celebrations is, yes, obviously to make money, but the whole goal is to get like a whole new generation of Dokkan players into the community, right? Into the app, essentially. They are trying to reel back in all of those returning players, and then, of course, new players. And then, you know, for all of us old-timey players, you know, they've got us forever, right, basically. Until the app shuts down. So, Goku is lining up for a super attack here, and thank God we dodge it, because then we get blasted. Luckily, with a lot of these teams these days, particularly that Super Saiyans all-out struggle and Power of Wishes team with the Super Saiyan trio as the leaders, bro, you can get up to some pretty insane HP stats. And no question, on this movie boss's team, we're going to be able to rock some good HP numbers. We are rocking a ton of LRs. That is definitely going to be a factor of how much HP you have. I did decide to bring Hirudegarn here. Now, this came out right after the Broly EZA came out, the TUR Broly. And obviously, this is like an absolute slam dunk fight for Broly, right? He gets all of his buffs activated against a Goku, essentially. And I really just dropped the ball, right? I brought Hirudegarn because obviously, you know, we're completing all the missions. You need one of every type against the Super Saiyan Goku. But again, Hiru met the conditions here, so I just brought him. He ended up not costing us the victory, thank God. But he did get tagged. You know, that 70% chance to dodge, man. I've never had a character, even the UI Gokus, dude, I've never had a character that just refuses to dodge like Hirudegarn, dude. He just, for whatever reason, y'all can let me know how you feel about that in the comments below. But his 70% chance does not feel like a 70% chance to me most of the time. But anyway, that HP stat, of course, it's going to be dependent on, you know, how big are the HP stats of your character. So we have a lot of LRs on the team with some dupes. And we are right around 800k, a little bit south of 800k, but still pretty darn good. I have had some almost, I know it's crazy, man, but between Future Gohan and Bulma on that Super Saiyan Trio team, you can get up to some very, very high HP numbers, no question about that. I have been rocking around 850k on those squads. It actually is pretty darn insane. And you guys may be noticing I'm not commenting too much on the actual footage here, because guess what, man, these fights are really easy, and I have to say, this has been a problem. I do believe we get hit kind of hard here, but this has been a problem for this celebration. When all of these fights, yeah, 250, okay. When all of these fights are 5 minutes long, that's not fun. I don't know who, seriously, man. I don't know who let whomever cook, but they did a very bad job. Whatever they cooked up was not a good recipe. These little 5-minute fights, dude, they're just not it. These are not it. If you are running any sort of a semblance of competent units on a competent team with a leader skill, you're going to get the dub here. Even the one of every typing, man, you should be able to get the dub easily. You run a double Beast Gohan, or you run a double Super Saiyan Trio team, and you're getting the dub here. It's that simple, right? Again, I just decided to hop right in here because, hey, why not? The video is going to be freaking 15 minutes long. But you guys can see I decided to throw BROLY on the team so I could not be a doofus and actually include the new EZA unit. Now, this is not going to be BROLY's absolute mega juiced best setup, by any means. But he is going to look, pretty good on this team, I would say, against the Pure Saiyan's enemy. Now, this fight here, the legendary Super Saiyan BROLY, the difficulty, I would say, these two fights in general, the difficulty got ramped up a little bit, but these one-note fights, I think it's just so clear that the units that they drop now are just so insanely powerfully busted that it's going to be hard unless the bosses are doing multiple things, many different things to try to stifle our units. I just don't think, when the bosses just have one gimmick and that's it, they're going to be a lot easier to take down. It's just that simple. Our units are just too powerful. You look at a unit like the legendary Super Saiyan BROLY here, man, he is just too damn good. He is too good. He's going to do too much damage to this BROLY. Now, this BROLY in his own right is pretty tanky. He does take a minute to take down, but once you kind of have your rotation set, he can't really do anything to you. He's not locking you in rotation. I don't believe he has any super attack effects. He might lower defense or something. I'm not entirely sure. I guess let's find out here. He's not lowering attack. He's not sealing. He's not stunning. This is not an AoE. It's just like, dude, what is he supposed to do against a really good team? I mean, if you come in here with a team, Earthbred Fighters circa 2023, mid 2023, yeah, I mean, you're going to struggle in here. But if you're coming in with like any sort of meta team, like if you could come in and absolutely just clap BROLY's cheeks with the Reps of You 7 team. And this is the most challenging fight of the bunch of the memorable battles. I would wager that we're done getting the memorable battles for now, at least in this celebration. We're literally taking on the legendary Super Saiyan BROLY. It is possible maybe they drop another legendary Super Saiyan BROLY, from movie 10. Maybe they do drop a Bio BROLY boss. It's obviously possible. I'm not completely ruling it out or anything. But again, if this is the toughest fight they're going to drop, that's a problem. That is a problem for a major celebration. And I mean, I guess I could challenge myself and bring in, different teams, but why wouldn't I want to bring the units I literally just summoned for? Again, I don't know who let them cook here, but not a very good decision to temper down these fights, in my opinion, my humble opinion. So does he raise his own attack? It looks like he might raise his own attack and defense on Super. But again, man, I don't think he's got enough juice in the tank. So I did go and check the stats just for kicks. And this legendary Super Saiyan BROLY, he's doing 1.75 while raising his own attack. So he's probably doing a bit north of that. He's probably doing over 2 million damage for sure. We are going to get hit hard here. We're going to get tagged. Remember that this Int BROLY is basically getting all of his passive buffs on attacking, right? On super attack. So that's a problem, right? He's not really meant to be in slot 1. I didn't really have his kit memorized like that yet. I just figured he had type advantage and he should be okay. I mean, basically it was, and he had a bit of damage reduction was kind of my thought there. So we obviously took a bit of damage there, for sure. So I would say all things considered, I mean, he tanked okay, right? Luckily we had, almost 800,000 health. So that obviously did us some good. So he did a little over half of our health there. And then the Super Saiyan Goku fight I looked up. So he's doing 2.1 while massively lowering your defense. So he's one of those bosses. So that can be really tough. Oftentimes what happens with those bosses, you can trace this back all the way back to what I believe it's 2019 with the Fizz Super Saiyan Broly, you know, the Dragon Ball Super Broly, that Dokkan event. He massively lowered your defense. And dude, if you weren't careful, if you brought, you know, just shitty units into that fight, you could die in the Dokkan event. It definitely happened to me. I mean, I was a, you know, kind of a rookie player at that point. I was pretty new to the game at that point. But dude, he could absolutely cook you. So that's really the first instance I can remember of a boss having that mechanic where he'd massively lower your defense. So what would happen is he would do the super, you could tank the super, but then on normals, you were getting absolutely just bludgeoned. Now, the thing here is that lowering defense isn't really affecting your damage reduction ability, right? So clearly, I mean, it can be problematic, but it's just, it is just one of those things. I just realized that this legendary Super Saiyan Broly fight has copyrighted music. So post-editing flex, would you please, you know, mute everything, basically? I'll put on some good active skill. It'll be fine. That was definitely something back in the day that could cook you. And again, you can still get cooked here, right? There are bosses that can still, you know, some very tough bosses that can do that to you as well in today's meta. But anywho, guys, I am going to just go ahead and wrap up the commentary right here. We're pretty much just going to chip away at Broly's health. As you can see, we can't do anything to Broly. We can't lower his attack. We can't lower his defense. We cannot seal him. We cannot stun him. There's just nothing we can do except for chip away at his health. And he does have a pretty good HP pool of 130 million. So, you know, you bring the right team in here, man. You could probably... Whew, man, I mean, if the RNG falls your way, could you 2 or 3 turn Broly? Probably you could. What are we on here? We're on turn 3. We've got about 1/3 of his health to go. Or we've only taken down about 1/3 of his health. But if, you know, you get Cell Max on his active skill turn or something along those lines, again, it takes to turn 6 to get there. But maybe you bring in a full Reps U7 team. I bet you could, you know, 2 or 3 turn this Broly. That team just does so much crazy damage. But guys, let me know what you think of all of these memorable battle fights in the comments below. I have to say I was pretty disappointed. Maybe I'm just out of touch with reality. Maybe everyone else thinks these are crazy tough. But I didn't really find them too challenging. If the fights would have started at like this level, I think I would have been a bit more cool with it. But they just started off so wimpy, just so, you know, Magikarp using splash attack, basically, in those first 4 fights. These ones were like, okay, definitely a big step up in difficulty. But overall, man, really didn't struggle. I don't think I died one time in these fights. So let me know what you think of all of that in the comments below. I'm going to wrap it up here. Slap a like if you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing if you are new. And as always, guys, during these big celebrations, let me know how your summons are going. I know that sometimes, you know, you can get the shaft, right? It can happen to the best of us. It will happen to the best of us. Your boy has been there time and time and time again. The long dick of Dokkan is just something that can, you know, get the best of all of us. But slap a like, subscribe if you're new. Catch you in the next one. Later.
どこへ行くんだ？お前と一緒に避難する準備だ。一人用のポットでか？
新生児の実を食べ続けてきた俺に勝てると思ったか？俺の 勝ちだな。
you